This that stuff you wanna hear. This stuff you wanna bang. I hate the orangutan.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTuber, signing off and entertaining, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And we are going to go over Survivor Series. And, well, I'm not going to lie, this Survivor Series, it was kind of okay. But the ending, man, the ending. I'll get to that when we get to it, but man, this was a hell of a show, man. Now, it starts off with they did the pre-show. It was a dual brand battle royal, and I gotta tell you, the one thing that was kind of getting at me is, I thought about this since after the pay-per-view, thinking, what's the payoff? What's the payoff? Because, you know, obviously it's brand versus brand, bragging rights, this, that, and the other kind of bullshit, but, okay, what's the payoff? Raw beats SmackDown, so what's going to happen? SmackDown beats Raw, what's the payoff for that? Things like that. Now, dual brand battle royal. They had a handful of guys from Raw and a handful of guys from SmackDown. And it was very much so just like any other random battle royal. Giant clusterfuck. Everyone throwing out bodies left and right. Johnny Nitro, Morrison, Mundo, Impact Esquire was the first to get thrown out. Ray and Dominic were in there for a bit. Gable was in there as well. The final four was Jeff Hardy, The Miz, Chad Gable, and Dominic. Jeff got taken out. Miz was thrown out. Now, I'll get to him in a minute because there's an asterisk on that. But man, when Gable and Dominic went, oh my God! God fucking damn! Chad Gable could fucking go. It's like I would say it's the second coming of Kurt Angle, but Kurt Angle's still fucking around and kicking, man. But good God almighty, he can fucking move. Gable can fucking go, man. And I tend to think on wrestling gimmicks as, okay, if it was a hit and a miss, like case in point, Shorty G, as a miss, don't take it as, yeah, that's a bad spot in a career. No. Don't take it as that. Take that as a positive. Because I try and look at the positive on everything, even the shitty parts. Because that just teaches you on how he was able to roll with the punches, keep going with that gimmick, and fighting tooth and nail to make the crowd connect to it. Even though they didn't, but either way. Gable wound up getting going good with Dominic. Dominic got him out just as it looked like Dom won. Miz came back in, threw Dominic out, and then the refs explained when Miz got thrown over the top, he was on the apron laying there and then rolled back inside just past the ropes like that. And then the refs counted that as being legally in, and then he got shot back out to the outside of the ring. So, yeah. So Miz technically got in and then got tossed out through the bottom rope. But Miz won the battle royal. Surprisingly, didn't see anything from him that Monday night, but now we get to the main show. Start off with the men's traditional Survivor Series match. We got Uncle Allen, AJ Styles, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, which Keith Lee came out to brand new fucking music. Oh dear God, that was fucking great to see. Braun Strowman and Sheamus going up against Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, Otis, Seth Rollins, and Baron Corbin. And this had a nice good start to it. SmackDown was leading with the pace and the flow of it right up until next thing you know, Seth tagged himself in, dropped down right onto his knees, looked at Sheamus like, do it. Do it. And everyone's just looking like, what the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is he doing? And then Sheamus just, boom. So yeah, Sheamus took him out, and then, yeah, Sheamus took Seth out, which threw everyone through a loop like, what the fuck was that shit about? SmackDown, man, they fought tooth and nail, but it was just straight up, one after another. Owens got taken out by AJ, and then Corbin took out, and then, you know, Kevin Owens was out by AJ, and then Corbin was out by Matt Riddle, and then Strowman took out Otis, and then the match came to it, and then Jey Uso, man, he fought tooth and nail, 5-on-1. I can't say I've ever been in a 5-on-1 fight. I've had 2-on-1 and 3-on-1, and I'm not talking matches, I'm talking straight up fights. But, man, I give Jey credit. 5-on-1 ass whooping, man, that's something. You earned your paycheck there, brother. But match came to an end. Keith Lee got the win doing a spirit bomb on Jey Uso. And yeah, Team Raw fucking dominated that match. But the following night on Raw, Adam Pearce, which I still stand by my argument, Adam Pearce needs to be named the official WWE commissioner instead of just WWE official. He deserves to be the commissioner, damn it. But especially considering he does way better work than Sergeant Slaughter or William Regal ever did as commissioner. Either way, he's out there. He congratulates everyone for winning the Survivor Series, you know, and then presents them all with the opportunity to stake a claim as to why they deserve a WWE title shot. So, rolls back to what I said before about where's the payoff? We just got payoff. I'd like to see something more like this down the line, you know, like, hey, this team won. This, you know, these wrestlers won for this brand extension match. Well, you know what? Even if they just say, you know, even if it's just a gimmick, hey, we'll give you an extra $100,000 in your paycheck next month. You know, something like that. Or whatever. Just something, you know, give a reason. Give a reason for what the fallout or what the payoff would be for it. Now, anyways, now we come to the next match, which was New Day versus Street Profits, and oh dear God, this was fucking good. Now, first off, way cool to see Big E coming out with the New Day again. Also, it was really cool seeing the New Day coming out with wearing their Gears of War costume, which they announced they're going to be, the New Day is DLC characters for Gears 5. So, real cool on that. Now, as far as this went, man, this match just way good. This was one of the better matches of the night. You know, had good feeling out at the start. Ford was the punching bag. Dawkins got the hot tag in. It was just, but man, the match, it was almost mirroring each other. And I'm not saying that as an insult. It was like, you know, kind of like when you saw Shawn Michaels go against Chris Jericho for the first time. It was the Shawn Michaels of old going against the current Shawn Michaels. Same thing. Same concept. The New Day going against a younger version of the New Day. A younger, hungrier version of the New Day, so to say. And this was a damn good match. I fucking loved it. And I've said before and I've proclaimed on how much I love tag team wrestling. I do. There is a certain art to it. It's not like you could just put guy A and guy B go against guy C and guy D. No, you got to actually give them some chemistry, give some feel to it. You know? But damn good match. I absolutely loved it. It came to an end when they wound up when the Street Profits, Dawkins wound up hitting that blockbuster, wound up hitting a blockbuster onto Woods, not Dawkins, but they had Woods up, and then Ford wound up doing a blockbuster onto Xavier. Woods got the 1, 2, 3. That was it. The following night on Raw, New Day wound up getting challenged by the Hurt Business for a tag title match. They won Hurt Business won via a count out, and then they issued a challenge to restart the match. They did, and then New Day got the win clean in the middle of the ring with a roll-up pin. 10 get you 20, we're going to lead to a match coming up at TLC. My guess, it's probably going to be a ladder match. If not, that, because, you know, especially given on how current their last no DQ match was at Tables 1. But either way, next matchup we got, this was one that I loved. This, not many people, some people kind of poo-pooed and shit on this, but man, from a fucking entertainment perspective, I loved it. I love this match. Sami Zayn going against Bobby Lashley, and Sami Zayn right off bat, straight up chicken shit healing. You know, right when the bell rings, Lashley gets closer. Oh, back him up, back him up, back him up. Sami getting in between the ropes. Hurt Business all circling around the ring. And Sami, like I said, chicken shit healing it. Man, trying to get in their face, getting in their shit, wanting them to go and throw a shot at him to get a DQ. And all the whole time just like, yeah, behind you. And then Lashley, boom. Lashley just straight up dominated, which honestly, give him, what did you expect? What else would you expect? You know? Because that's on how it is. Because, you know, now, fans that are smart enough to know on how wrestling actually is, okay, yeah, well and good. Is Sami Zayn a greater technical wrestler than Bobby Lashley? Probably, without a doubt. But here's the thing. No matter what anyone says, you're always going to have some sense of realism in wrestling. No matter what. Even if you know, like, for example, with AEW, Luchasaurus, you got a fucking guy running around pretending he's a dinosaur. But you still have him going and doing matches. You don't have him going and tucking his arms in pretending he's a little T-Rex. Being a T-Rex saying, oh, I can't do much. I have a big head and tiny little hands. No, you're not doing that. You know? Or, you know, on how or moving in WWE sense, with The Fiend, even though he's supposed to be a psychotic breakdown of Bray Wyatt's psyche, he still adheres to the wrestling moves. He still shows on how he's a human in a sense. So yeah, there's going to be some sense of realism. And when you see a guy like when you got a guy like Bobby Lashley with his background going against a guy like Sami Zayn, you know, if I was Sami Zayn, if I'd have pictured on how this would have went in a bar, this would be on how it'd go. Sami, you'd order a double shot of bourbon, throw it back, say a quick Hail Mary or whatever, and then just throw the hardest shot he got and pray it did some kind of damage. Because Bobby dominated the entire match. Now, on how the match came to an end, at one point, Sami, he just straight up was like, fuck this, I'm out, and then walking backwards, tripped over MVP's foot, who P is just standing there like this at the entryway like, you ain't getting out of this, fucker. He tripped over his foot. Sami starts going and trying to make a big argument saying on how he tripped him, and then P just straight up gets him, throws him back in, and then Lashley, boom, puts him in a full Nelson hurt lock, taps him out. Next up we got, we got my future third ex-wife, Asuka. Whew. Oh, good Lord Almighty. Oh, it's not much that woman can't do that doesn't make my heart melt. Going against Sasha Banks, which didn't get a chance to really say it before, but you know, Big Star Wars fan, have been my entire life. Kudos to Sasha for her little cameo on The Mandalorian. If you've not seen it, highly recommend it. You know, she doesn't have much, but it's a good, promising side character. Now, that said, as far as this match goes, really, really good, solid match. Really liked it. Good back and forth. There was a lot of submissions and strikes galore on this, you know. It was, and I fucking loved it. It was different than what we've seen before with them, you know. It wasn't like your atypical, okay, we're seeing what we've seen these girls do this match 100 times before. Let's see what they're going to pull out the same shit. They pulled out a whole different shit. A lot of striking, a lot of submissions. Really dug the shit out of it. Match came to an end. Sasha got the win, much to my and everyone else's surprise, especially given Asuka's credentials, which again falls back to a sense of realism. Them two were going back and forth fighting over roll-ups, much like what you would have seen in a WWE 2K game. And then Sasha eventually got the win with the roll-up through that, what I called a little roll-up clinic. But yeah, I'm all, you know, it makes sense. It makes sense. Because Asuka, she walked in there extremely confident, as to be expected, because she knows she's a badass. She knows she can kick someone's head off and play soccer with it. Whatever. If you know you're as bad as Jesse James, you don't have to go and fucking... You ain't gonna really be too scared of too many folk. But, you know, sometimes the quicker shot normally wins, right? So now we come to the Women's Survivor Series match. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, and Lana going against Baylay, Bianca Bel-Air, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Natayla. Yeah. Now, it was good, solid action in it. Now, Lana at one point, she tried to come into the match. She worked a little bit, and then after that, Nia Jax insisted she'd not get in, and then told her and Shayna actually told her, you stand right there. Stand right there, pointing at the stairs. Stand there. Do not move. Nobody tag her no matter what. Which I fucking died laughing on, because my first thought, and this is on how you know I grew up as a little asshole and got into a lot of trouble as a kid. My first thought was parents saying, you go stand in that corner and don't you fucking move. That's what my first thought was. Lana got put in a corner and got told, sit there and think about what you did. That's what my first thought was, man. Now, as far as the match goes, man, it was basically like a 4-on-5. It was a 5-on-4 handicap at that point then. But it was decent. Peyton Royce wound up taking out Baylay. Natayla wound up taking out Peyton, though. And then Lacey wound up taking out Natayla. And then Shayna winds up taking out Ruby. And how she took out Ruby was actually in a pretty interesting way. It was, you know, Shayna, she had the Karabuta clutch in. Ruby actually reversed it via like the old Rowdy Piper Bret Hart pin from the sleeper hold thing from WrestleMania. And Ruby had a pin in, but the ref was distracted from a fight on the outside. And all the while that's going on, Shayna still had it locked in, and then actually choked out Ruby, because by the time the ref came over, one, and then you just saw Ruby just drop over limp. Ref goes and checks. Yeah, she's out. Throw it out. She's done. So yeah. Yeah, Ruby wound up getting taken out. And then Liv winds up taking out Lacey. And then Nia winds up eliminating Liv Morgan. And then Shayna winds up getting disqualified. But, so the final two come down to Bianca Belair and Nia Jax. These two girls were going good, and my God, I cannot emphasize enough on how good Bianca Belair is, man. She had her Survivor Series debut last year, but man, oh man, this girl is fucking gold. She's not kidding when she said, I honestly, I don't think that whole EST of WWE isn't just a gimmick. I think she straight up is. She backs up every last little thing she says. She's tough, smart, fast, can work, and a fucking character. So yeah. Now, how the match came to an end, Nia and Bianca wound up brawling on the outside to the point it got to a double count out, which, considering Lana was stuck being put in the corner that entire time, that then meant Lana was the last member of Team Raw, so she's the sole survivor. Which then she got interviewed the night after, got asked what's she gonna do. She said she feels incredible. She feels like she could challenge Asuka. Asuka took that as a challenge and said, "Challenge accepted. I'll see you out there." And just as them two are getting going, Nia and Shayna come out. They start beating the crap out of Asuka after Asuka throws water at them. And just as they're about to put Asuka through a table, Lana's like, "Oh, no, no, no." And then we wind up getting a women's tag match. And then, excuse me, then at the end, Lana wound up getting the win over them. And then, Lana and Asuka got the win, and Lana just beat feet out of there to make sure she wasn't getting put through tables. So it finally happened. It finally happened. Lana did not go through a table this week. I'm shocked just as much as you are, but yeah. Now we come to the main event of the night. Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. This had a nice old classic start. And when I say a classic start, it was, alright, you think you can go? Alright, come on. Nice, good, solid tie-up, man. There was solid slugfest going back and forth. Roman started leading once they started brawling on the outside, and then we wound up getting some good back and forth action going. Now match wound up now this was a damn good match. Honestly, I have to say, hands down, the best matches on the night. Like I said, this show was kind of but if you're gonna go and if you want to just see the highlights of Survivor Series, I would say New Day Street Profits, Sami and Bobby, Asuka, Sasha, and Roman McIntyre. That's it. Also, coming up at the end. I'll get to that in a minute. But as far as matches go, those four. But this was a damn good match. I fucking loved it. It really was. These guys were trying to show who is the standard bearer for the company. I'm the WWE champion. Well, I'm the Universal champion. I'm this. Well, I'm that. Now, that's what these two were going for. And this goes back. What's the payoff? They wanted to show who's the bigger, who's the badder, who's the one that says, I got the bigger dick. Eat this, bitch. That's what they were doing. Now, how the match came to an end, they wound up getting a ref spot when Roman went for a spear, Roman went for a spear. No. Sorry, it wasn't because of a spear. McIntyre caught Roman with a claymore. Roman fell and bumped it and hit the ref. That's on how the ref bump initiated. After that, Jey Uso came down, who got told to go home from Roman because he got his ass handed to him for losing a 5-on-1 beatdown. And then he didn't. So he came down, helped out Roman, threw out a couple super kicks, and then Roman wound up hitting him with a spear. Not a spear, I'm sorry. Got him with the guillotine choke after he did a low blow, and then Jey Uso he hit him with a low blow, and Jey Uso popped him with a couple super kicks, and then got the guillotine choke in on him, and then the ref called it. Roman Reigns wins. And now we come to the closing segment of the night. This is a bit of an emotional one for me. It was the farewell to The Undertaker. They brought out a lot of some Taker's. They brought out friends of the Taker, Big Show, Ric Flair, Shawn, Tripp, Kane, the members of the BSK, the Bone Street Crew, Godfather, the Godwins. You know, it was just great to see that. It just shows what kind of respect that man has. And this goes to what I said before. Whether you agree or disagree with a wrestler, an actor, a celebrity, whatever, personal views on politics or life or global events in general, you don't have to agree with what they say or do. But if they can perform in the ring and leave you happy and entertained at the end of the day, that's what counts. And for 30 years, The Undertaker did that. I remember being 5 years old, seeing The Undertaker debut, damn near shitting my pants, thinking, oh my God. Whoa. And just being in sheer awe of it. And it was just wow. That's all it was just wow. And Vince, he did an amazing tribute to introduce Taker, and then Taker, he came out. He said, for 30 years, the bell has tolled. Now it'll toll no more, basically. I'm paraphrasing, mind you. Then he did his signature pose, and I got a little teary-eyed because they had a Paul Bearer hologram show up, and oh yes, and it was just very fitting. It was fitting for The Undertaker, and I can't stress enough how fucking cool it was to see him. Literally, my entire life, for 30 years of my life. From the time I was 5 until last night, seeing him. There ain't never going to be another one like him. So, yeah, I could go on, but I ain't going to keep y'all here like that. So, that is it for this week's show, folks. So, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. If you can, look for me on the Twitter at Tim Vicious, also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, let me know you found me on there from here. On my Twitter at Tim Vicious, on the Big Guy Crew John Go. Thank you to my executive producer, Ali Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check it out. It's on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, all that good shit. The details are down below. Thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. It's a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, don't forget to follow these cool-ass cats already on the Twitter, Kenny Killer, Awesome Mulligan, Kenny Killer, DSB_IV, Diabolica RA, and Sergeant Curry Pants. And folks, like I always say, y'all, you love me gray, you hate me. Fuck you.